24 hours after President Muhammad Buhari signed the Electoral Act into law, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmood Yakubu, announced February the 25th, 2023 for presidential and National Assembly elections and March the 11th, 2023 for governorship and State House of Assembly elections. Conduct of party primaries and resolution of disputes arising thereof is slated for 4th of April 2022 and ends 3rd of June 2022.
The Presidential and National Assembly elections will now hold on Saturday, 25th February 2023, while the Governorship and State Houses of Assembly elections will hold 2 weeks later on Saturday, 11th March 2023. With this adjustment, the 2023 general election is now 363 days away. Under the law, there are critical time-bound activities from the publication of the notice of election to the conduct of polls, which form the timetable and schedule of activities for the elections. Some of the critical activities and their dates of implementation are as follows. Number 1, publication of notice of election, Monday, 28th January 2022. Conduct of party primaries, including the resolution of disputes arising from them, Monday, 4th April 2022 to Friday, 3rd June 2022. 3. Submission of nomination forms to INEC via the INEC portal for Presidential and National Assembly election, 9 a.m. on Friday, 10th June 2022 to 6 p.m. on Friday, 17th June 2022. 4. Submission of nomination forms via INEC online portal for governorship and state assembly elections, 9 a.m. on Friday, 1st July 2022 to 6 p.m. on Friday, 15th July 2022. 5. Commencement of campaign by political parties for presidential and National Assembly elections, Wednesday, 28th September 2022. 6. Commencement of campaign by political parties for governorship and state assembly elections, Wednesday, 12th October 2022. 7. Last day of campaign by political parties for presidential and National Assembly elections, midnight on Thursday, 23rd February 2023.
Let's have an insight into the new Electoral Act 2022. Let's speak with political analyst Bola Oba, who is joining me via Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us on the Midday News. Looking at the 2019 elections and the upcoming 2023 elections, vis-a-vis the instrumentality of the law that once was and what it is now, how much difference do you expect this new Electoral Act to achieve?
I expect a magnitude of difference that can be likened to the magnitude of difference that prevailed subsequent to the introduction of technology, the PVC, personal voting technology, some years back. You know, Michael Jackson used to vote in Ondo State. Tina Turner used to vote in some of our elections. We had names, some very forgy, dodgy, fictitious names on our electoral roll. But on the introduction, you must also remember that there was an election in Nigeria when Olusegun Obasanjo scored more votes in Ogun State than the totality of bona fide registered voters on the electoral roll. In fact, the Supreme Court just said that was a major anomaly, but that even the votes that was cast for him in other states, they would not use that to nullify his re-election. So the introduction of technology has shown us that our electoral roll could be cleansed from the abuses of politicians. And in view of the fact that this is the first time that the Electoral Act would empower INEC to use technology in cognizance of the extant law. You must remember that the use of technology has been so innovative, so effective, but the rulings of the Supreme Court that gave the governor, the incumbent governor of Rivers State, the incumbent governor of Rivers State, and what's this other state now, that gave them their seats in 2015 was such that if the Electoral Act had acknowledged INEC's power to use technology, those governors probably wouldn't be in office as we speak. But because the Supreme Court said the Electoral Act was not directly acknowledging the use of the PVC, and that the PVC was just an administrative convenience for INEC, that is why those gentlemen ultimately got their gubernatorial seats. Good for them. But from now on, INEC has the power, has been endued by law, the Electoral Act, with the powers to introduce technology for any stage in the value chain of our election.
Right, Bulaba. Well, I want to know what you think about the proposed amendment to Section 8410, which the president actually raised an eyebrow against, that which provided that no political appointee at any level shall be voting delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for any election. So the president wants this to be deleted. Do you also throw your weight behind the president on this?
To be honest with you, at this juncture, I want to be a bit contrite. Contrite and a bit sober, because I was one of those vociferous voices who never believed that the president wanted to sign this the bill into the act that it is now. And I think it's about time some of us who were so impassioned to see the new provisions in this act, I think it's about time we came to the realization that this man may mean well. He may not be traveling at our pace. He may be, Baba go slow, but that he may quite mean well, because this is something that will be a positive feather on the arc of his legacy.
Yeah, I think you made your point on that. I think you made your point on that, because we pressed for time.
That is request too should be given a positive consideration by Parliament.
Right, because we're pressed for time, I want you to answer these in a very short, short response, very short one as much as you can. Do you now think these electoral acts will make our politicians behave during elections?
No, I'm not expecting the politicians to behave. I'm expecting the new instrumentality of technology, the empowerment of INEC to massively deploy technology, and the power of technology to track digital footprints to now be effectively used in the value chain of our judicial architecture against the politicians. But that they will behave, I will be delusional to think that the politicians will suddenly, before the 2023 election, become saints.
Well,
they are made the way they are made.
We'll see how this is going to, impact the coming elections, especially talking about the Osun and Ekiti election and ahead of 2023. Thank you so much for speaking with us, political affairs analyst.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for the privilege.